This machine is producing coffee cups for a Canadian buyer. The order could become 50 containers a year. But before my customer pays this factory, I need to check one thing. Can this company really be trusted?
Today I'm going to Chengdu to visit my customers. He's coming from Canada and he wants to buy a few containers of some goods. And my job today is verifying the factory, checking the process of production line and delivering the goods, checking the quality control and shipping these goods to Canada. Too many people are losing their money because they trust the wrong supplier. That's why we personally visit every and each factory that we want to cooperate with them. We help our customers from A to Z. It means we find the right suppliers, we verify these suppliers.
Before you buy goods from China, there is one thing you must understand. A supplier's website is not enough. A beautiful sample is not enough. A cheap price is not enough. Because when you are buying serious volume, one mistake can cost you the whole deal.
So buying from China is not just finding a factory or visiting a factory or visiting a market. You should be very careful about all the important things about buying and shipping and quality control and contracting and international transfers and so on. An important thing about working with us is that until we don't make everything clear, we don't pay any money to anyone. And we handle everything from sourcing to shipping to after-sale service to everything that is make you worried about importing from China.
This Canadian customer found me online and asked for my help to buy coffee cups and coffee cup lids from China. The volume? Around 50 containers per year. So my job was not just to find the factory, my job was to verify the factory, check the production, negotiate the deal, protect the buyer, prepare the contract, and make sure everything was smooth before the order moved forward.
I heard that Chengdu is a spicy food city, right?
Yes. Delicious.
Yeah, I like spicy too.
After I arrived in Chengdu, the factory arranged a car to pick me up from the airport. This is also part of the process. From the first interaction, I'm already observing. How do they communicate? Are they organized? Are they on time? Do they understand we are coming for a serious business discussion? Do they act professionally? Many people think factory verification starts when you enter the production line, but actually it starts much earlier. It starts from communication. It starts from how they prepare. It starts from how they treat the buyer. A serious suppliers behave seriously before the negotiation even begins. When I arrived at the factory, the first step was to sit down with the factory boss and drink tea. In China, this is very common, and before going directly into price and contract, people usually sit together, drink tea, and talk. But for me, this is not only a friendly moment. This is also a business evaluation. I'm checking if his answers are clear, and I'm watching if he understands his own products deeply. I'm checking if he talks like a manufacturer or like a middleman, because sometimes the biggest risk is not that a supplier is bad. The biggest risk is that the supplier is not who they claim to be. Before my Canadian customer arrived, I started looking around the production area. At this stage, I'm not doing a full inspection yet, but I'm getting a first impression. Now we are waiting for the Canadian customers to arrive. They came all the way from Canada to China for this deal. That means they are serious. And when a buyer travels across the world to visit a factory, the supplier also understands that this is not a small inquiry. This is a real business opportunity. But still, my role is to stay neutral and professional. I cannot be impressed too quickly, and I cannot trust only because the factory is friendly. I cannot say yes only because the price looks good, and my responsibility is to protect the buyer's side and make sure the decision is based on facts. Finally, the Canadian customer arrived at the factory, and this was our first time meeting face to face. He found me from Instagram, trusted my experience, and now we were standing together in Chengdu for a serious sourcing project. For me, this is the power of building trust online. Social media is not only about followers. It can become real business when people see your work, your experience, and your consistency. But now the real work starts. because trust from the customer is only the beginning. And now I have to help him verify whether this factory deserves his trust. Before entering the production area, we had to wear clean gowns. For food packaging products like coffee cups and lids, cleanliness is very important. These products will be used by end customer, so the production environment must be controlled. When I see a factory requiring proper clean clothing, that is usually a good sign. It means they understand hygiene, process, and production discipline. But again, we do not judge by only one detail. We need to see the complete picture. Clean gowns are good, but now we need to check what is happening inside. Now we started the real factory visit. When I visit a factory for a customer, I don't just walk around and record videos. I check the factory like a buyer's representative. First, I look at the production flow. Where does the raw materials enter? How are the cups and lids formed? Where are the semi-finished products placed? How is it stored? How does it move into production? Where is the final inspection? Where is the packaging area? Where is the finished goods stored? If the production flow is messy, problems will happen later. Second, I look at consistency. Can they produce the same quality again and again? A sample can be perfect, but a container order is not about one perfect sample. It is about thousands or millions of pieces being produced consistently. Third, I look at capacity. For 50 containers per year, the factory must have enough production ability. If they cannot handle volume, they may delay the order, outsource production, or reduce quality under pressure. Fourth, I look at management. Are workers following standards? Is the production area organized? Are products protected? Are defects separated? Are there quality checkpoints? Because good factories do not depend only on the boss. Good factories depend on systems. For coffee cups and lids, there are several important details. The lid must fit properly, and if the lid is too loose, it can leak. And if it is too tight, customers will complain. The cup must feel stable. The material must match the customer's requirements. The edge must be clean. The printing must be accurate. The packaging must protect the products during transportation. And the supplier must be able to keep the same standard during mass production. This is where experience matters. Because if you only ask, how much is the price? You will miss the real risks. During the visit, I asked the factory many questions, not random questions, specific questions. How many production lines are running? What is the daily output? How many workers are responsible for quality control? Which part of production is done in-house? Is any process outsourced? What packaging standards do they use for export orders? What is the lead time for the first order? What happens if production is delayed? Can they support repeat orders every month? These questions are very important because serious buyers do not need beautiful answer. They need operational truth. A supplier who can answer clearly usually understands the business, and a supplier who avoids details may become a problem later. The biggest risk in China sourcing is not always fraud. Sometimes the supplier is real, the factory is real, the machines are real, the products are real, but they are still not the right supplier for your order. After the factory visit, we had a much clearer picture. We saw the production area, we checked the products, we spoke with the factory team, we observed how they communicate, we understood their production ability.
Alright, so today is the second day of visiting the factory. It's raining.
The next stage was negotiation, because even if the factory looks good, the deal is not complete until the terms are clear. The second day, we went to the company's office at another location. This part is very important. The factory visit shows production, but the office meeting shows business structure. Here we are not only checking machines anymore. Now we are checking whether the company can handle a professional international order. In the meeting room, we started negotiating the real details. Of course, we discussed price, but I always tell buyers, if you only negotiate price, you are not negotiating properly. A lower price means nothing if the quality is unstable. A cheap quotation means nothing if the delivery is late. So we discussed the full order. This is where my role becomes very important, because the buyer may not know what details usually create problems later, but I have seen these problems before. So I try to begin those risks into the discussion before production starts. That is the difference between solving problems early and fighting after the goods arrive. After the negotiation, I told both sides that we needed to prepare the contract properly. For this kind of deal, verbal agreement is not enough. Everything important must be written. When everything goes well, nobody talks about the contract. But when there is a problem, the contract becomes very important. So before my customer moved forward, I wanted to make sure the agreement was clear. This is what we do for foreign buyers who want to buy from China safely. If you are outside China, you cannot control everything by yourself. You need someone here, someone who can visit the factory, someone who can ask the right questions, someone who can check the products, someone who can speak with the supplier, someone who can protect your side. If you are a foreign buyer and you want to buy products from China, do not only ask suppliers for price. Before you pay, you need to know, is the factory real? Can they produce your quantity? Can they keep quality stable? Are the samples the same as mass production? Are the terms clear? Who will check the container loading? And who is protecting you inside China? If you need help sourcing products, verifying factories, negotiating with suppliers, doing quality control, or managing your order in China, you can contact me. This is exactly what we do, and we help serious buyers buy safely from China. And in the next video, I will show you the next part of this project,